Welcome back to Hunter x Hunter, where Leorio and the others are finding themselves in a bit of a slivery situation, being caught in a cave surrounded by snakes, potentially venomous. Now, the actual threat at hand isn't particularly going to test them on their combat skills, rather everything else that comes with it. Being able to heal up, avoid damage, not get stuck in a small room until you inevitably starve or dehydrate to death. But this also being Leorio's target, Ponzu may or may not give up a card and badge eagerly. You know, maybe if I was in a predicament of certain life or death, mainly death, fine, take it, I'm off. I'll try again next year. And so, since we are now down to the dregs, Leorio on the dirt. Well, he did have a fair few bites, but a quick change of clothes and a brush up, and he's perfectly fine, other than the massive fever and toxins coursing through his veins. Shall we see what's going on? Out of many of the trials that they've gone through so far, I think being trapped in a cave with snakes blocking the entrance would personally be more preferable to me than the, 100-kilometer run. At least I get to sit down for a while. But I think, with this situation that they found themselves in, the fact that it is Leorio's kind of task, because he's the one that is needing Ponzu's ID badge, it seems almost fitting that this kind of thing happens. And considering Kurapika and Gon just ran in, even with don't come in here. It is dangerous. Oh, you've already here. Okay. There was nothing that could be done to keep them away, especially when Leorio was evidently in danger. And how long has she been in here to understand that the entire situation is potentially hopeless? Now, how do you disperse snakes? Well, toxin, probably. Snake attack! So you've got the snakes at the entrance, snakes near the corpse. Anyone that goes near him. Oh, he's had some sort of reaction there. Bees? Taken down by an anaphylactic shock. Oh. Was he allergic to bees? I don't know enough about allergies and bees. Now, where are these bees? And hopefully not just kept in a big hive hat. I've just worked it out. Sending a sleeping gas deep inside the cave, knocking all the snakes out, not knowing the danger, can't get out. So she had fallen into a trap, not knowing. However, she then found herself at an impasse. Her defense. So, anyone gets close to the snake charmer, snakes. Anyone that goes close to her, bees. And his own defense mechanisms. Made it impossible to administer any sort of first aid. I mean, you can ask him, you just probably won't get an answer. So now they have to find a way to disperse the snakes and get out. And considering she just said something about sleeping gas... No. Oh. So what happens if those particular number plates have just been tossed into the forest? So, she'd already resigned to her fate. It's a good thing that they won't starve or anything. For the time being. He got too close to the edge while trying to warn. Which would be... He's thinking if the snake charmer himself will have something on him to cure the snake bites. I mean, it is just in case anything goes wrong, if one of the snakes gets a funny idea. Bad snake. Just fight through the bites and the like. Yep. And good thing he had several syringes there just for anyone that may need it. He'll be fine. How many different paralytics, laxatives, toxic substances, venoms are running through his system at the minute? He's a madman, yes. I mean, it's a good shout that he did have something on him, but... Didn't think of that. I thought about self-use just in case the snakes went a bit funny. But... yeah. You're dying. Do you want me to heal you? Hand over your badge. Now, we've sorted the immediate problem of death. Now, how do we get out of the cave? While he was searching for the antivenom? Yeah, I got it. If all the snakes are asleep, though, you'd be asleep. Also, she'll have 6 points, right? I'm sure there'll be some. He'll just have to... 9 minutes 44. He's been practicing, especially for this day. I mean, there's a difference between holding your breath and holding your breath under burden of carrying 3 people. And like I was saying, she would have 3 points. Well, 6 points. I just gave away my train of thought. Until at least getting out of the cave, in which case you would be relieved of some of them. Leorio still needs to get through, remember? Now, can you hold your breath for as long as gone? Not if I laugh at his face. Take a deep breath in. Have a good night's sleep. Oh god, not only does he have to hold his breath, he's got to count. That's awfully light steps, considering the weight on his shoulders. Good. But we'll be taking this as a payment. Also, where's her hat? Do you want to carry the bees? Now, either that's a very loud... loudspeaker she's using, or the acoustics of this island are quite good. You're not allowed to exchange badges. Ah, I thought you meant... All you have to do then is stay a little bit away from the starting point and swap badges. Okay. The hunter language is practically the same there for the... some syllables. How many are just going to have theirs and their targets rather than a selection? Gitoraku. Ah. Hold your horses. They're just a bit little late, that's all. And one that is oh so interested in his growth. By the grace of God, somehow Leorio got through. As for everyone else, well, we'll be sending out the search party for those that are still alive. It's a rare occurrence. And then what? This year there's so many. As if the stars aligned. Also, is Beans not only an attendant, but also a fully fledged hunter in his own right? I really hope so. In a peculiar fight. Right. Have a little interview between them all first, then... This isn't going to be a straightforward, like... straightforward combat. That was so hard, wasn't it? I wonder how this interview is going to go. Also, the idea of showing that the propellers are turning just by turning them off and on again on the animation frame. Well, he may as well oblige him for this. For curiosity's sake. True. It can open up so many doors and avenues. Get out of certain legal loopholes, I see. Not phased at all by that answer. Well, if this is going to be a question asked to all of them, there's going to be a few reoccurring names. Would you least want to fight? Leorio, because it's boring. They're not ready. They're not quite there yet. Ah. Is that so? Okay. Nice. It just shows how strong the old man is if he gets his... if he's that interesting to him. Almost as if he was willing to put himself in that situation. Come on. Just testing him. Well, yeah. I think pretty much everyone would be like, yeah, I don't want to go up against him. It's his friend. Why wouldn't he be interested in him? Okay. Yeah, it'd be over in an instant. Some people are like out for their own... Is anyone going to mention Bodoro at all? You're looking down on them because they're children. Well, a great conversationalist, that Gitaraka. I mean, someone looking out for self-preservation, yeah, don't want to fight that guy. Most interested? Do I also want to stay away from. Oh, interesting response. And Leorio's... for friendship's sake. Yeah, someone even mentioned it all. I mean, it might be good for a ninja to not really stand out. I mean, he has a fairly traditional room, doesn't he? Why did he look so pleased with himself just then? Brackets. With proper tournament little arc thing here. Oh god, it's insane. Okay. And I'm guessing we will be either disclose the brackets at the end of this episode or at the beginning of the next one. Something that's been weighing on his mind heavily. Being looked down on, given a break by Sokka himself. Even after catching him, he didn't take his badge back. And not only that, he gave him his own number. So he stayed in the competition. How could you turn down his kindness? But as a reason to both need and want to grow, just to return that punch. It's so frustrating. But knowing one's limitations, being shown it to that extent, just gotta work on that. I mean, Hisoka, gone. There's quite a few age difference. I wonder just how powerful he was when he was a child, without much guidance or anything as well. Don't think of yourself as inadequate in any sense. I think Leorio needs to be a little more grateful than others. Oh, that's uplifting, isn't it? Having such a heartfelt conversation. Okay. As the airship flies off into the horizon over the desert. And if this is now getting into a bracketed tournament archetype fight thing, I don't think the particular rounds are going to be all too long. There's only 9 contestants, so it's probably only going to be 1 or 2 episodes, but they've already had one fight for their life before. And with so many saying, I don't want to go up against Hisoka, I don't want to go up against Gon, how's that going to unbalance the old man's plans and how he's laid it all out? I think we learned quite a few things in this episode. One is, if you ever need a good source of anti-venom, it's the guy covered in snakes. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, was Ponzu's hat not actually a hat at all, with no actual structure? It was just a mass of bees. So when the sleeping gas went out, well, they just kind of... Then if you were to have a particular animal to protect you, to lay traps with, etc., snakes, bees, what kind of thing would you go with? I think, personally, you'd go for something not immediately noticeable as being incredibly dangerous. You know, snakes and bees, yeah, we've seen it before. You know immediately to be wary of them, but what about something like a platypus? Did you know platypuses are venomous? If you didn't, I might have just saved your life, or at least just a nasty sting. But the idea of Gon holding his breath for 9 minutes 44 being his record, I mean, that's pretty good. I can't remember what the record is or the average time for free divers, but I don't think I would be anywhere near 9 minutes. But it was also lucky for her to come across Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika, because not only were they brave/dumb enough to attempt to get the antivenom and try and find a way out of the cave, but they would do it while keeping her alive, while being nice to her, while also getting her out. Some other contestants may not have been so altruistic, but the idea of the tracking mechanism, tracking badge that they're carrying around with them. That kid who didn't really get past the running section with his laptop, I'm sure he would have had some way of, hang on a second, knowing exactly where everyone is. That kind of skill would have been useful. Not that I think he would have actually made it this far, let's be honest. But now that we've seen the toll that Hisoka has taken on Gon there, you mentally worn him down to that state to make him recognise his own, well, not quite feebleness, but at least at the hands of Hisoka himself. Gon noticing that he doesn't really have the ability to stand up against him on a straight one-to-one fight kind of thing. That's probably for the best. I mean, it's good to feel a little hopeless. It would spur on the drive to get better, to get stronger, to keep training, to keep going forward. But don't look at the finish line and say, damn, why aren't I there yet? And then go into despair. It's a journey. One that we're following along with, actually. And I'm quite enjoying it, and hopefully you are too. With the long-anticipated next round of the exams coming up, what's it going to be? Well, we've seen that there's going to be a bracket at least. That some of them are trying to avoid fighting others. Are they going to be thrust together? Likely. So, you may want to join me for it. If you enjoyed this one, leave a like and a comment on the video. Consider subscribing. It helps me out and it gets you more. All in all, get yourself some rest. Don't hold your breath. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and look out for any bees. If you want to be the bee to give me the anaphylactic shock that may forever shut down my channel, consider joining onto my Patreon because it's the complete opposite of possibly killing the channel. And thanks to the likes of Noku, Raywin, Sal, Arthia, Kite, Shiwan, Mats, Girly, Cardboard, Mega42, Dark Shadow 7899, Akane, Toddy, Jane, Buddy Zaid, and everyone else. They are the ones that are keeping the big colony that is all of you entertained by forcing me to get more videos out.